Pam right up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, got it. I'm coming.
Oh, it's on the second page is on the back.
I did it, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I didn't do
Oh, right.
all the financial documents and all the other things that I passed out, because I'm trying to,
Yeah.
but then, in all honesty, I did make copies of the budget that was handed out last time and the annual report I sent electronically. I made a copy of the infographic because it's just a bunch of data.
Yeah.
I mean, not that it's good, you know, we put all that data in a document and it goes to New York State, but it's.
Were you asking for?
Okay,
Oh, sorry.
yes, anybody have any corrections, additions, subtractions from last month's minutes?
There was also the minutes of the,
And the board,
where we approved the,
Is that in the-
Did-
yes. that
there was another set on February 15th. I don't see it.
Hold
here.
on, maybe I
Yes.
put it behind.
No, it's on the other side of the page, isn't it?
No, that's
No,
just.
I
I
was
saw
another
it
one.
somewhere.
I did, maybe I sent it electronically?
I thought I saw it. I think it was on the email.
I didn't see it in the email, except the one I sent to April, but.
Wait a minute, when was the other one? It was after February 8th?
Yeah,
Or was
February
that the January
15th
that
we
there were
met.
two of them?
Well, no, but there were two in January because we approved all those. But
Oh,
the
but it
accepting
was
of the
the-
bid was
Yeah.
February 15th.
Yeah,
You emailed it to me.
Yeah, I
Can you
did.
go get that? Can you carry
well, I
it
saw
on?
it and read it, so it had to have been somewhere, but it's not here.
Oh, so we sent the draft. Okay, did anyone have a problem with that draft that we don't have a
I
copy?
mean, basically, it just said we voted in.
Yeah,
approved
basically you
Well,
voted to
But did we
approve.
do anything about it in the minute, in the meeting? I thought we did it.
We did. You voted to approve it. And Pam did the. I can go
Right.
print it.
Yeah, so
Well,
we're
separate,
approving
right?
the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
The-
Right, there's
wasn't
two
it
separate.
separate?
There was February 8th, the regular board meeting, then we met
Right.
the week after just to
Yeah.
approve the
So
bid.
that would, but this one we could accept. because it's-
Right, and she's just gonna print the other one.
All right, so
Just to
do we
make
have a
sure it's
motion
on
to
there.
accept the minutes from January 11th,
February 8th.
February 8th?
Yeah, I would,
So
Make a
Pat,
motion for that.
Pat's making the motion.
yes.
Okay.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay. Now, what are we doing about the next one? The meeting one, is that separate?
Well,
Yes.
she's just gonna print out the
Yeah.
copy and then we'll,
I thought it was like.
I mean, could we just make this motion be for both? It's
Yeah,
like,
Yes,
I-
yes, for both, because we know it's,
I don't
That
even know if that was a legal meeting.
well, if we voted on something, it had to be.
right, and there were enough of us here. Scott was there.
And you wrote something, you wrote.
Yeah,
so. But I don't know if it was legal that we made it.
Ooh, there's a lot of big checks, what's up?
Mm.
Lots of money.
Mm,
Central property maintenance, that's plowing, isn't it?
Probably.
Could be.
That's
I
plowing.
don't know, we didn't have much plowing to do.
Yes, that is plowing.
Yeah. Well, good for him, because who wants to shovel it?
Yeah, it includes a lot of salting this year.
Right, yeah,
But now-
Yeah.
I know, I've been counting the days, because my driveway plowing contract is up April 1st, and I'm like, it's almost over.
Well, not for the whole.
Then we have to start mowing.
Yeah,
I'm glad I didn't do anything with it because I had everything to do. When you think about the money you put out for it, did you have much shoveling?
plowing.
Yeah.
Now, when we had a lot of snow, we plowed like 3 or 4
I know,
times a
some of the
day,
plowed mine, but
but we
not-
haven't really had that much. But you know what? I consider that insurance,
I know. I used
because
to.
I don't want to shovel. And I live
No,
on the
you can-
corner, and the
Yeah, I
plow comes
know. Oh,
around
me
and
too.
plows the back of my driveway in, so it's like this.
Yeah,
I'm
me
like,
too, I'm the same way.
not cleaning that up. Pay somebody to plow.
Okay, I just sent it to everyone, so you do have it at home if you didn't see it earlier.
Oh,
I know Pam sent it to me and wondered if we needed to put Sally on there. And Sally couldn't make it, and
Right.
then,
We've already,
I
we've already
used
approved
the-
this.
Yeah.
yeah, oh, you did, okay, good. Now you have it, so you can put it on your refrigerator. Okay.
Okay,
Right.
so we need to accept the minutes from the special meeting.
We
February
did.
15th.
We did all of it.
We're just figuring it's,
Okay,
didn't we say we'd figure it was all done in
Yeah,
one
okay.
motion?
Yeah.
As long as nobody noticed anything that needed to be
yeah, it
corrected there.
says,
Oh, we have to cross Sally off because she wasn't here.
Oh,
Right.
oopsies.
Thought you were gonna change
So
that.
I
Maybe
said-
you, yeah.
I will
You can just
print
put absent
I have to get rid of the draft
Yeah.
anyway.
because she's.
okay,
Right.
Do I
Right.
absent?
president's report.
All right.
Okay, I don't have a report. I have a question. Sorry about that. The recommended masks, what's that about? Who recommended it?
Okay, we recommend for people's safety to continue to wear masks, but you don't have to.
No, I know, but I mean, who, the CDC or the health department or who's saying that?
I think staff would like that because people are breathing on them. So, I mean, people come in, some people have them, some people don't. I think it's an easier word to put on than like, if you're more comfortable.
No, you don't need to go into explanation.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So we just changed
Just if
it
you
from
want to.
required to recommended. 'Cause it's, so
You
some
recommend
people do wear them. You
Basically, it's optional.
It's
and-
optional.
You could say
Right.
yes or.
could say masks are optional.
Well, recommended, it sounds like somebody said.
We'd like you to
this
do
is
it.
What you have to do.
Right. Okay.
Well,
So we
maybe-
could, do
maybe
you
I'd
want to change it
recommend
to
that,
optional?
Yeah, I
I'm
don't
okay
think
with
it's
that.
worth it. I just wondered what.
Where that came from? I
Yeah,
think
where
it was
came
just,
from.
there's,
I mean,
was,
I
in
guess
a
my
couple weeks, I
question
think
is,
it'll
for
probably
how
be like,
long? Yeah.
whatever,
For how long,
Yeah.
forever? you know.
optional,
Yeah.
mask friendly. I
But
mean, there are some
I
people
think
that are
anywhere
not gonna be
people see
comfortable.
masks recommended, they're gonna do whatever they want because they know they don't have to wear
Right.
them.
It's not a
Yeah.
requirement.
So,
I don't
we
think
do.
it makes it sound like it's some sort of official thing for libraries that isn't for other places.
mm. Yeah, I mean, private places are different than public places too, because like you're saying, public spaces, people expect it all to be according to some official
Yeah, and
recommendations
if
or
there isn't one,
decision.
then don't. then there
Like
shouldn't
if
be
somebody was
anything.
coming into your private business,
Yeah,
maybe it's different. I don't know.
You can, right, Bank of Utica required vaccination to walk in the lobby. I mean, nobody locally did that besides them that I know of.
yeah.
Right.
And then there's like doctor's offices still require
Well,
masks.
that's still
So that's
required.
something they prefer to
You have
do.
to.
Sometimes you feel like you ought to wear a mask in the doctor's office anyway, no matter whether there's a pandemic or not, you know, God only knows.
I
when
think in
they
a
happen.
couple weeks, it'll probably just,
Either that
we
or
could
things will
change
be
it to
worse
optional
again and.
it'll.
I just looked up the CDC website. And it
Okay.
says, Oneida County is in a low risk, and that says wear a mask based on your personal preference.
Mhm. Right,
Yeah,
Right, too many words, maybe optional would work.
yeah.
But I mean, obviously, we just want people to feel comfortable if they
Yeah.
want to continue to wear them.
yeah. Well, I think, yeah, that's pretty much what was said in for
Mhm.
schools, is that
Mhm.
if the parents want their children to wear a mask, then, you know, fine. Of course, you know what's gonna happen in school. The kids wearing it, the rest of them are gonna take it off, but, you know,
Well, some, yeah, some will, some won't.
yeah.
I think it'll just take a few weeks for people to get used to it,
Yeah,
and then after
yeah.
that, because we
And
seem to
because
have a
even
mixed bag.
Last summer, people weren't wearing masks.
Right.
You know, and then when winter, like the flu season, when winter comes, you know, it's gonna come around. And hopefully it's not serious, but you know, it's probably gonna come around again every winter for years. Who knows? All right, financial report, action items, expenditure and revenue report for January.
Okay. I'll make the motion to accept the expenditure and revenues reports.
I'll second.
And we have the abstract of claims for February 9th to March 8th.
Yes.
90.
97,860 and 94 cents.
Okay. Everybody has looked at it or
Yeah, it's-
have whatever they need to know about it. Pat, were you looking?
Yeah, no, I.
Okay, all right, so I'll make a motion that we accept the abstract of claims dated February 9th to March 8th.
And I will second that.
Okay,
All righty.
I say Sally, she didn't come on. I thought I heard her. Must have been somebody else talking.
Sally, are you there somewhere?
don't see her.
No, okay. I thought I heard her in the other room. Must have been you yet.
Yeah,
Let me come back over.
We didn't
Come
know.
back over, Sheila. It's all good.
All righty, director's report.
Okay, let's see. I might try to consolidate a few of this next time. It was a mid-york director call and I don't think anything significant was going on there. I've gone to Rotary a couple different times. I'm taking part in the Central Library Resources Council Sustainability meeting. So that's something interest group. And then we had our meeting here, which was for the bid meeting, which
Right.
was good. And I've attended a few of these leadership trainings. One was just leadership and one was finance, so to do with that. So you'll see those. Another director's call, kind of just keep us in the loop of what's happening in other libraries. We had obviously a mask meeting and those kinds of things. Library Advocacy Day prep. So we were talking, apparently the legislators that we met with seem to think, well, that was NILA. But then eventually down lower, well, I'll get to that in a minute. We had an insurance meeting we have Gilroy, Kernan and Gilroy as our insurance company. So they wanted to meet with us, look around, and apparently they do that every few years. And so we met with him in the middle of moving out of Dunham House. So we've got, that's like more, there was another meeting, and this was interesting. So I went to the sustainability meeting, which we always have, but then there was a workshop that was created out of that. And it was introduction to drawdown that we did. And so I attended and I realized it was open to New York State. I was like, oh, look at us. And not that I had a lot to do with it, a few pointers, but nothing major. And then the trustee handbook, they're going through all the chapters. So I went to that one on facilities. And that was good because not only it here, but I sit on a different board with Foothills and we meet in the Presbyterian Church and it's an old building and it doesn't meet our needs. It's like, if your building doesn't meet the needs of your library, then you might need to build a new one. And I went, wow.
Yeah, that was a helpful. that
It
a
really
good
was.
idea.
And sometimes you need somebody to say, you need to do this. And I thought, I kind of need to do that with Foothills too. So, and
That was
then
an interesting.
the
one.
director call happens every Wednesday. So that shows up a bit. And then another leadership training. And then we did meet North Utica, Whitestown Rotary. We do some fundraiser. Actually, one of the things we always do is we raise money for scholarships for students in Oriskany, Whitesboro, and New York Mills, because they're all in Whitestown.
But are there two North Utica Rotary?
There's one North Utica Whitestown Rotary. There's two meetings that I went to. It's every
Oh.
week,
Mhm.
but it's every other, we meet every other week now.
Oh, I really.
But now there's a lot of Rotaries in there because I'm going to be the North Utica Whitestown Rotary president this year. I've avoided it as long as I
No,
can.
no.
There aren't any other people left.
Now, there's only one Whitestown Rotary?
Yes,
Okay.
there's like a Utica Sunrise and there's a Utica one. And then there's a New Hartford one. And so there's mostly all these little towns seem to
Right.
have one.
Right.
So there's only one Whitestown one. So then I also went to this, it was interesting. We would have Hull House in our area.
Mhm.
One of the Rotarians asked the Vera House to speak. So, same old stuff, I'm not same old stuff, but I'm a very similar organization that it's, actually, it's not just women who are abused. It's because men can be abused and
Mhm.
all of those, the things that they do and how it was different during COVID, a little, all that. Real Library Advocacy Day. Well, we didn't go to Albany, but this was the one where Central Library Resources Council made appointments with or actually the councils, there's 9 in New York State, they all partake. And the legislators did say that they believe that they will return the construction grant funding to 34 million. And because right now it's in the budget for lower than that, but it's this, they're pretty sure it's just this game that everybody's playing, the governor cuts it out, the legislators
Yeah.
put it in, they look like heroes, and it's just the game. And it happens every year. So, but they did say there is federal money, and they will have federal money probably for the next couple of years. So they believe that construction aid money will be there for us, and a lot of it, which is what we need right now. So we're gonna make sure our architectural drawings are ready to go.
More the merrier.
Yeah. And, okay, here we are, DPLN's mask mandate along with Whitesboro Central School District, and we did that on Wednesday. Then another leadership training, I could have put what the subject area was. This makes me very sad because I tried to get into this, passing a construction bond do's and don'ts for a successful campaign. But I think they might record it, clean it up, and send it out. Because a lot of times within a week, you can get the copy of it. So I'm definitely gonna watch the recording if I get to. And I think that I can contact them and say, oh, please, or run this again, or do whatever. I was like, no, of all things, it's like, I'm like clicking on the button, like, what? I go to Zoom meetings all the time. Why is this
And it won't
working?
let you.
Because I've been on Char looking at Char, why isn't this working? And then I did go to CLRC this morning, and then there's so many things I do. I probably shouldn't do these detailed ones. These are the things that end up in my calendar, but there's always conversations like today. We met about the cost of programming, and because that's why there's programs along the back, just these things that are being done. Because we used to, out of library, and we had a meeting, like, how is it that, how do we tell the public what it is that we do? Like, even Pat was saying, well, how can we afford this? And I'm like, no, we got a lot of money for this construction grant. So that's not local money. So this is what we created. We'll get to this in a minute because it's the annual report, but we created this. John Rodwell, Kim's husband, does this for us every year. Like, we did this a couple of years ago. It's pretty similar. And on here, we added additional revenue. So wow, we've never really talked about the fact that all this money has come in under construction grant. So we kind of looked at the different categories of the annual report. And one of them is, construction grant or just basically revenues. And we didn't talk about that. And we were brainstorming. Char was there. She said, I want to know what you're doing with my tax dollars. And I said, that's fair. I mean, we focus so much on program and how many people come. And it's like, well, we're zeroed in on that. But what else is going on? So we changed it a bit this year. And I'm just giving you this as the annual report because you got that 31-page document.
Right.
And it's a lot, right? It's a lot to take in. And it's what it is. I mean, it's not like you can really say, oh, I don't like it. Well, these are facts. Like, I can't make that. So usually what we do is we take this and then from the budget, we take that one line and we make it bigger. And I attach this with my business card, and this is what we hand to the public so that they say, oh, okay. Because, it makes sense.
Yeah.
So that's
And that's a big sum, the construction grant.
huge this
Yeah.
year. And we haven't talked about that.
People need to see that.
Yeah.
I think so,
Because
It's a
too.
big
because it's
number.
like, only a certain number of people. I mean, some people just ask. I had a couple people just ask, say, oh, what's going on at the library? They're gonna-
Right?
But they would say, oh my God. what's
But we
going
do
on?"
need to have, and I will have that available better and just
But
to see
There's a
it.
certain number of people that are just crabby in general, and they, they should
I
see this.
know.
They
No,
should see
this is gonna be
that
the
there's a
overall
lot of good things.
This
that
actually, I'm gonna have
happen.
John change a little bit, because if you look at this, Janae looked at it, she said, well, April, it looks like this isn't right. It was in the past, like maybe 4 or 5 years ago, it was a little more whimsy, right? So we had the crooked text on both sides and we straightened everything out but these. So I've asked him to correct it. So this is just a draft. So the 16 and the 38, those will be more in a straight line. So then we'll print the finished copy. Okay.
And this will be available here only.
Yes.
April, I do have one question about something that I noticed in the annual report. that made me a little sad. And that is that in looking at the resources, I thought it was great that we have grown like the physical book resources, that we have more of those in the library now than in the previous year. But it seems like the number of electronic resources, particularly audiobooks, has gone down. And that's a little concerning. I don't know if this is the
I can
audiobooks
explain.
as in like the physical CD audiobooks, or is this audiobooks as in the e-audiobooks that you can get access to?
Okay, what we had, and this is, think about, this was the end of 21. So the
Mhm.
end of 20 is what you're comparing it to. And we had a big jump for about a year and a half. We had Hoopla. Hoopla was something mid-York.
Right.
And it was a digital download opportunity. And we used this enormous number that we had available. And then it was just cost prohibitive. So if you look, if I showed you the numbers from like 2 or 3 years going without that particular one, you'd see that it's pretty consistent.
Okay, so that's the thing, and that makes me sad because I really enjoyed Hoopla.
Did you?
I did.
It would be very difficult for us to do it too, because our service
Mhm.
area is 26,000. I
Yeah.
know there's a few people that have just the village is really
Mhm.
who they represent, even though the whole neighborhood comes. But
Mhm.
they say my service area is 4,022 people. And so then all of a sudden,
It doesn't cost as
it
much
doesn't cost as much, but if we try to do it, it's
because you're
just too
part of the
much.
Whitesboro
Right.
School District, which is
But-
big.
I'm wondering, but I don't think we did. What we have also, and I'm not sure you realize this, Hoopla, did you like it for DVD, like video?
Actually, I made use of Hoopla primarily for graphic novels.
Oh, yeah, this won't help you then. We
Yeah.
have, unless it was, well, maybe it would, because it's an ebook and audiobook option. We have a reciprocal agreement with Shenango, whatever that library
Okay.
system is, South. So you can put it in where it says Mid-York Library, and then you can also, if you look at the libraries you have access to, because do you realize that you can get a New York Public Library card? You can get a Brooklyn Public Library card, because you live in New York State. You can get a library card from a lot of these different places, but Brooklyn and New York City are big. And you can just, go to their website and you
Yeah.
just have to prove where you live. But the Shenango one is a reciprocal that we have. And I don't
Mhm.
know if they can necessarily count that in
Mm.
what we have available.
Mhm.
So,
All right, well, that is helpful to know, and that does explain.
yeah.
That does
I
explain.
know,
why that
right?
Sort of went down
Statistics
a
can
little
be
bit.
very misleading.
Yeah, and that relates to another question, and I'm getting ahead of myself because the draft budget.
Oh.
But I will wait until we get to that item of going over the
I see,
draft budget
actually.
that you sent.
Okay, well, that's almost next. I don't know if that was considered old business or not. I get really confused about what old business is. I mean, I guess we presented it last month, so does it become old
I
already?
know, I'm not sure I understand what difference it makes. I don't understand why. you
Yeah,
can't
well,
just move it.
I mean, we never, if we're approving it, you presented it last time, so
Yeah.
it's not like we met to approve it
No,
last
This is
month.
new business.
It's new business.
Okay,
It was
good.
just presented last.
I mean, construction grants, old business
I
all
mean,
the
if we
time,
had
because it's
tabled
always
it,
going
if
on.
we had tabled it last month, like
Right.
if we said,
Oh.
if you put it on the agenda to approve the budget and then we tabled it, then it would be old business.
Okay. Because you couldn't decide or whatever.
Right,
You
right.
Decide, okay, all right.
We
So
were
anyway,
fighting with each other.
you actually are on to new business then.
So, right, so the new business is, right, the approval of the 22-23 budget.
Okay,
Okay. Budget.
go ahead, Scott, what do you got?
Scott, you had a question about that?
Well, the other thing that I noticed was that library materials, well, it kind of went up like 1,000 from what the current proposed budget is. And I guess I would just like to have a discussion about, and some of that is sort of a piggyback off of my initial impression that, oh no, during the pandemic, when more electronic resources would have really been a good thing to have access to, the the holdings of electronic materials went down, and now I'm also seeing that the library materials budget is going down, and I'm seeing now that those two are actually uncoupled and don't really have necessarily anything to do with each other, but it always, I'm always leery of decreasing library materials if there is some possibility or prospect of decreasing some other area of the budget. I am the only areas of the budget that I am wholeheartedly willing to try to sell to the entire community when everybody starts going around, oh, why is the budget going up? What are you spending more money for? Well, we spend more money on people and salaries because we need to, and we spend more money on library materials because, well, that's what we
That's our
do.
business.
So
I thank you for bringing that up. I feel like you're that straight man for me to come in. But that was part of our meeting. I said, you know what? We get this audit, which is not back yet either. We get this audit and they give us this little pie graph and it says, this is salaries, and then this is library materials, and then this is the business, the building itself
Right.
eats up a lot of money too.
right.
And I said, it's not really fair. Fair is like fair, but in the past, library materials, it covers everything. And Char's going to change the name of that, by the way. It's going to say library materials and programming, because programming expense comes out of it. So it does look like we reduced it because we really haven't had a lot of programs. But on the back table, which I don't know how well you can see, we have a lot of the crafts that our staff is creating. And then, for example, Pat has on her table there, she has one of the take-home book club, so to speak.
Right.
things.
Okay.
So staff are creating this. And I said, sure, we have to figure out how to prove that staff time is being used for these programs besides just story time. Like you hired the puppeteer and she came in, she did her dog and pony show, and you had the guy doing the drumming and you had the guy doing the magic show. And we just said, yep, here's a check. And boom. And then it made library materials and programming budget higher. We also do support digital beyond what Mid-York charges us with using some formula of usage. And we go beyond that. Like our YA budget, we have a lot of digital in YA, and we adopt anytime there's, I don't know, say 10 holds on something or 6 holds, whatever. Sometimes Mid-York will say, you know what, we really would like to buy these books. Anybody want to sponsor? And we almost always sponsor. So those get ordered right away. So we are, and digital materials are less expensive than print materials. They just are. Like right now, for example, we can buy, even if it's a tangible item. So say Nora Roberts' trilogy is available. We get it in MP3, isn't that what it is? Like if you, so we get an MP3
an audio
and that's
file.
like $20. And in the past, if we bought audiobooks on CD, it would be over $100 to buy audio back.
Wow.
Because it was like 25 CDs in each one.
Right.
And you get the whole trilogy in one CD now. So our costs are going down because of that. But I do want to somehow come up with a formula, which I'm not even sure how to do this, what it means. So, okay, this is what we would pay somebody's salary, and we would pay like their teachers or their retirement, right? Whatever it cost us to have a human being stand in the room, that figure plus, like in the back, I've got one of the take-home programs Christina does. She has a clay kit because she goes to pottery. I said, go with your passions because then you'll at least enjoy doing it. And so it's got a little piece of clay and they make a pinch pot or whatever they do. And it has the little, all the things needed.
Yeah.
So we're sending these things out the door and we need to figure out exactly what it is. I think it's less than like $4 usually to pull together that like the March memoirs. So they have a theme. So we are creating certain things that I want to acknowledge at least 10% of staff time is used to create this because it's
Right.
more
That
than
makes
that.
perfectly
So
good sense.
I'm hoping our library materials and programming budget looks a little more robust to the public because we're seriously not. We're not marketing that well. We're not sharing with the public the true facts here from this document. Is where I am, but it's weird because we have QuickBooks and QuickBooks doesn't necessarily do that automatically, but Shar assures me that there's a report that can be run that will show that. So we might be able to do that internally. And then in the future, we'll turn around and maybe be able to give, quick facts about that. At the very least, you'll understand, right? So you can go out and tell people and our staff. It's like now we're like, we're not really sure what that crap cost us. It's just so.
Yeah, but I do think that that's, that's a really, I think that's a really important message to be able to share more broadly. That, Dunham has X amount more of materials and programming to make available to its patrons this year than last year. And that I think really helps to make clear to everybody. And that's why you're paying, I guess nowadays it's not an additional cup of coffee a month, but it's an additional flavor shot in that cup of coffee that you would ordinarily get every month.
Value added. Yeah.
So.
No, it is. And it was very difficult to figure out. Well, we were closed during this time period from Thanksgiving to March. The building was closed, staff was in. So statistically, we really were still suffering from COVID during this. That has nothing to do with ebooks. So, but if people didn't know how to access it, did. But even program attendance, I wrote program participation because that included take homes and whatnot. So we went from a few years ago from the 2019 report, which had nothing to do with COVID. We had attendance, it was at 14,600. And our attendance with take home and everything was 11,780. And that didn't really include some of the, we're feeling better about including some of the things. Like Janae actually just started the puzzle. She has got all these puzzles, Sudoku and crossword puzzles and those kinds of things. And, but we were just kind of feeling our way through it too, and odd things we'd have to do, especially when we're closed. People be in the parking lot and say, oh yeah, run around and get me whatever. And so we became like shoppers, personal shoppers for people. So these are COVID numbers, I think also, but really solid numbers though.
Yeah.
Considering.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. But good question, because I had that question too. It's like, that's a good right.
So are we ready to talk about approving the budget? Is everybody looked at it and thought about the items and thought about the things that we were just talking about?
I have just one other odd question that I don't know whether it's whether this is creative accounting. Shar, you can enlighten us as to whether this is like legit or not. But there is some feeling that I get that I know you've talked about, there's always the expenses of running and maintaining the physical plant of the building. And I don't know how much of some of those physical plant, like hard numbers, like building and maintenance, or water, electric, telephone, computers, and all of that, can maybe like be sort of passively floated through the construction grant or the bonding for construction. I don't know how much of the day-to-day operating may actually, if there's any savings in some of those areas of running the building that can actually come from the construction grant, that may leave a little more wiggle room in the budget for other things, like such as library materials, for example.
Oh, can we find more money? The things that the construction grant will help with, because they won't do repairs or normal
Right.
maintenance.
Right,
But
repairs and maintenance are not there.
we have saved, we're gonna have a full year, because I'm optimistic that we're not gonna shut down. So we're gonna need a lot more toilet paper and paper towels than we've needed in the last
Oh,
couple
yeah.
of years, because we use a lot of toilet paper when we're here. I couldn't believe it. It was so wild. I know that after we upgraded the electrical and we went LED, we saved a lot of electricity. We put in a
Okay.
new HVAC, but we put in all 5 of the HVACs, we replaced them all. So yes, they're much more efficient, but we're not gonna save any more money. We have in the past, we've been stealing from them a lot.
Mhm.
So I think we're down to bare bones right now.
Mhm.
And it will help because, for example, we aren't going to remodel the bathrooms in any of the bathrooms on our own, right?
Mm.
We're just not, because we're gonna use construction grant to upgrade or repair. Because I know the men's room, I said, Herm, like, if you don't have time to get to that, I said, don't worry about it. We're gonna have a new toilet room, restroom, whatever you want to call it, really
Mhm.
soon. So we can wait. We can
Mhm.
wait because we're gonna write another construction grant, and
Right,
that's
okay.
gonna involve bathroom upgrades, right? So we can with certain things, and in all honesty, we don't spend a lot of money on things like paint. I mean, paint's cheap, but we don't upgrade unless we're doing a construction grant we
Mhm.
haven't
Mhm.
anyway, because we've been fortunate to be able to do these things. You know, we got a new roof. Well, like, we're gonna need a new roof, right? And a lot of times
Right.
it's repair and maintenance, that's when we would do it. But you're looking from, oh, go ahead, Shar. She's
I
got.
was gonna say, I would add, when a construction grant is written, it's very specific what it's for. So if you want to pull any of that money out and kind of throw it at, fuel or water or whatever, I don't think you can.
Okay, that is essentially what I was wondering.
Basically,
I do think I do recall that there were some things that were put into the construction grant kind of consciously, like, there seems to be some need for repair of certain bathrooms, but since we're going to like completely renovate this whole area, including the bathroom, well, we're not going to spend anything on repairing that bathroom for right now. We'll just keep Herm, just have Herm keep it running.
right, like, we duct taped the carpet on the stairs going down to the amphitheater because we were gonna wait, and we did. Like, we still got the mauve carpeting from 1986 in the stacks, and that's gonna stay there until we upgrade. So we really don't, most of our building maintenance, I do know that Herm would like a lawnmower that's a little, and snow blower that are a little more reliable. So we are kind of looking at that. But otherwise, we really don't, we don't do. And I think, I don't know, we don't, like, we
April,
We're pretty frugal.
Suppose all right, suppose the budget for the grant is so much money for a certain thing. Suppose you don't use all that money for that certain thing. Can you move it to something else?
We will use it all. Because
Okay.
we received 300, 299,000. We will use it all. We'll use,
But I mean, specifically, like you said, for the bathroom.
right.
Now, if, all right, suppose we don't use all that money for that particular.
They bid on it already, and that was what it was,
Oh.
right? We know what it was. It was already approved. We can't, we do have capital money that we actually included, we rolled over.
Yeah, because
Sure, help me.
the grant, you got 299,591 and the
Mhm.
bid was total of 356,049.
And that
Yeah.
one, that didn't include professional fees.
No, 'cause
So we have capital project money that we can use towards professional fees.
most of the time, if anything, the bid, it goes over, not under, because.
Yeah,
something
the costs go
more than
over the
they
bid,
thought,
yeah.
Or it didn't come in on time and then you
Right.
had to pay extra and whatever. So it's rare, it's a pretty rare that you'd ever.
But I mean, it's a specifically.
Yes.
If something is.
It is written
specific for
right
A certain thing in there.
It has to go towards that,
Yeah.
and we
Mhm.
didn't get more of a grant than we will spend,
Right.
No.
so,
Yeah, you got less than the bid
Right,
is. So.
yeah.
right. We got less than the bid is, so we had matching, so we have the 300,000 and we have to match the
Right.
difference, which is still a really good deal,
Yeah,
so, but you can't. But we will, like, we rolled over from last year, $40,000, that's the estimated balance, so we are bringing money in from
Mhm.
that capital money or whatever.
Mm.
So,
We do have some money in our fund balance as well, which we can kind of tap into, and because we don't pigeonhole that as capital project money, it has a little bit more leeway. But then again, you run into the whole thing of, you don't want to tap into your fund balance too much.
right, is it sustainable to continue with the 40,000? And we think it is for now. Because we have like a staff who's been here for a very long time, majority of staff that has been here quite a few years. So we think that, like, when our former children's librarian retired, that made more, there was, you'll see in the professional salaries, if you look at the annual
Mhm.
report, like, why are we paying out less than we were before? And it was because
Right.
we had a
Somebody with
senior
30 something, yeah.
librarian who was making considerably more than the newer, the people who've been hired more recently.
Mhm.
So we do believe this is sustainable because we know that in the next, 10 years or whatever, there will be people that will be retiring that have been here a long time.
Mhm.
okay, anything else about the budget approval? Do we have a motion to approve the 22-23 budget?
I will move that. Now that all of those questions have been answered.
And I'll second.
All right, Scott and Pat.
Those are good questions though,
Yeah.
because now everybody has the answers,
Mhm.
or, at least something
No,
to say.
It's clear.
A little,
That's
got
what it needs to be, just needs to be clear. Approval of the 2021 New York State Annual Report. There's one place where it's just obviously just a typo, but we probably ought to clean it up.
Oh,
On the second page,
I'm sure they'll open
because
it
all
up
the
again.
red, was just replacing.
Okay.
This one says provide our community with access to and quality resources.
Oh,
We probably don't need to add, right?
May I see?
I mean, that doesn't make sense.
Yes,
Oh,
you're
no.
Yeah,
right.
with the direction.
well, this is the
Whoever's-
plan of service, not the
Oh, this
annual
is plan of
report.
service, right,
I'm
okay.
sorry, I had the wrong thing. I had the
Oh,
plan of
yeah,
service.
okay, that's all right, but yes, I agree with you.
Yeah, okay, so
All right.
that's all I had, no, that.
That's different though.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is,
that's not.
but that's all right, I'll
Um,
write it down anyway.
Yeah, and also for goal 2, provide our community with an updated facility that is safe and accessible, not safe, accessible, and.
Oh, okay, thank you. I
What
provided
was
it
that?
to you.
What was that, Pam? Which one?
On number 3.
I see it. Or
It
it's
says,
two now.
updated facility that is safe, accessible, and it should be and
Oh, right.
Safe
accessible.
and
but
accessible.
It's just because,
Yeah.
you know, they were crossing out what was there.
Okay. Thank you
Must
for
have
noticing,
sent
because it
us
would have
the
been that way
whole-
forever. Okay, we should go back to the annual report. though.
Right.
Is that the next one in line?
I'll make a motion that we approve it.
Thank you.
I will second.
Oh, all right. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. And the plan of service we have.
Okay, so the plan of service, Sue found on page 2. Library goals, 1, we have in red, the word and add should be access to quality resources.
Yeah.
So we, we're gonna get rid of that word.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
And then Pam brought up in goal 2, after the word safe, it could be, I don't know.
It should say and.
Just
Safe.
safe and, we
accessible.
probably don't need the comma because we're not listing a gazillion things.
Right, safe
Safe
and accessible. That's
Yeah.
it.
All right, good. Unless anyone has any further questions, I'll move that we accept the plan of service for 22 to 27.
Okay,
It's gonna be approved on March 8th,
Do we have a
2022.
second?
Okay, I'll second.
All right,
okay, good.
And whoever's idea it was for the motto, it's like, that was cute.
Okay, I forgot.
From Twinkle to Winkle. your
Oh,
library
actually, that
from
was
Twinkle to
Wanda
Winkle.
Bruches. She said it in one of those library advocacy meetings in Albany. I said, oh my God, I need that. Because it is, it's from like, because you do that, you can read to
Mhm.
your baby in your belly and then boom, all the way to the end. Well, we're done.
okay, do we have announcements or communications? Anything particular?
I don't know, we just had from Scott that he won't continue. I don't know if that's formal.
Right. I don't know, Scott, do you want that to be an announcement?
What is an announcement?
That you won't continue to be a board member, but I don't think so.
Nah, you don't want to announce that. You know, I didn't even want you to ask me that.
We want to pretend it didn't happen.
Yeah,
so
right.
we're not-
Yeah,
we're
yeah,
not-
nothing to see here, folks. Just
That's
keep
right.
moving right along.
All right, no
Okay.
discussion with the public or public comment. You have 2 votes, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know why.
That was just,
Oh.
that was just a typo.
I need to get that off of there, but I think there usually is one at the end, but I,
Yeah,
the
there
numbering
is
isn't right.
public comment, but not discussion. That was the old one.
Yeah.
Discussion was the old one. You can
Yeah, it should be,
scratch that.
yeah, it's crossed out.
Always
And then this should
Public
be a
comment.
12 here.
And the
Okay.
next meeting will be April 12th, right? Is that, I think.
It might be, I don't know, I can
April
look at my
12th,
calendar. Good, April 12th.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Okay.
Yes, it's April 12th.
Right.
I'll
Do we
make a
have
motion that
to
we adjourn.
I will second that.
Wow, this was fast. We had so much to
Yeah.
do. And we talked a lot.
We
Yeah.
did.
We were
got a lot
focused.
of
And
things
it's
interesting. There were a lot
6:50.
of things
Yeah.
that it made it interesting, things that were cleared up
Yeah.
and all the.
There are 5 people over there on the other side of the wall with their office over there. It's our little
Okay.
cubicle farm. So I have a desk, we'll give you a tour. And then Char's kind of in the corner, then there's Janae, Christina, and Rosemary's over here, and then we have the old board room table, the big 4-foot by 6-foot table, so that we could just have this breakout session, or the craft can happen, or the whatever. And we're gonna be spoiled, we've got 2 bathrooms, we share it with the public, the one in the bathrooms for sure, and the kitchen is there, the kitchenette,
Nice.
and so we got sink,
Well,
all
maybe
that
we
stuff.
just decide to stay there.
I know, and actually this room's getting used, and Kim has kind of just said, you know what, we're having programs out on the floor. It seems to work out really well. Our
Yeah.
folding tables, and we have all these different folding tables, so we're really making do, and our public seems to be like, you know, just some big groups that, you know, it's a little snug in here, and
Mhm.
but they're dealing.
So our
Yeah.
book club's meeting here again without.
We are gonna
masks and
be,
stuff?
yep, in the back, we're gonna meet, it's whatever you're
Right,
comfortable with, so, right, we are in.
All the
The-
groups coming back.
They are, yeah, we'll You know, we've had most of our groups. They have been coming back. I mean, we were wearing masks for a while, but they were
Yeah,
here.
the last
They
couple of
really
months of
were.
book club we haven't had.
Yeah, we
but
didn't. We stopped
Oh.
our in-house program just because, in all honesty, last month we were a little overwhelmed. We did it. We maintained and we kept going, but to empty Dunham House, that
Mhm.
building has been a library since 1926. I mean, I know it was renovated, but the closets weren't emptied, and, you know.
Yeah.
Talking about finding stuff in the back of the closet.
I mean, it's
like a
just-
mystery.
That's a lot, and it's like, where are we gonna put that? Where are we gonna put that? What are we gonna do
Well,
with
it
this?
was Rosemary, yeah, it was Rosemary that told me, she goes, you wouldn't believe what was in the closet. I said, yes, I would. I remember this, like, this used to be the only library, and I
Yeah.
remember it. It was
So we didn't
brand new
hire
stuff.
movers or anything. We just kind of paced ourselves and did a little each day but like Shar was sorting through things. Things went up into the attic. We've got a shred pile. It was a lot.
Yeah.
It can be so frustrating. What are we gonna do with this? I don't know. Just put the lamp on top of this filing cabinet. It's like,
Yeah.
Actually, I do have a question about a potential upcoming activity that I stumbled across.
okay.
And is it in fact the case that there will be an American Red Cross blood drive at the library on March 25th?
I'm not positive. We have had blood drives here. I don't think we can have it here. It's going to be in.
What's-
Cross Point Church.
Yes, see,
Yeah.
this is
Oh,
the
that's
thing,
right. Somebody
because
told
it
me
says Dunham Public Library on, because I donated blood like a little while ago and I was looking to donate again. And I said,
Okay.
there's a blood drive at the library, but when I clicked on it, then it actually takes you on that date to Cross Point, which is actually where I donated the last time.
Yeah.
As I say, Dennis said he started it was supposed to be at the library, but they took it since we didn't have the space for them.
They need
Right.
the whole community room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there are
and-
some things we really can't host right now, but.
Right,
we'll be
okay.
back in
So
business.
I figured that was probably part of the issue, but I thought I'd ask.
Yeah, that's why. So there are sometimes we have to say no, but the majority, we're functioning.
Good.
And so the people that are here, if you want to tour, and the people that aren't here, feel free to, you can come see Scott anytime.
I will do that soon.
Okay.
There's more people in the library all of a sudden. you know?
Once the mask
Yeah.
mandate was lifted, we really had a lot of traffic.
Yeah.
We have more traffic. Was it this week? Yeah, well, we lifted even like last Thursday, Friday. I think all of a sudden it was a sign to people that said, it's kind of safe to go out now. I think there were people that were very reserved or they were here and
I
didn't
think
stay
that
long.
people just don't want to wear
People are
masks.
sick and tired of wearing a mask.
That
They're like,
could
is
be.
it worth it? Never mind, I mean, I felt that way about a number of things, like, I'm not sitting for 2 hours with a mask on, I'm not
It's
going.
hard to talk through
Yeah.
over time. And it was hard because we were moving everything and we had masks on almost that whole time. So it
Mhm.
was, and we do have some staff who are immune compromised or have family at home that are, so they're cautious.
Mhm.
We're kind of, as Kirkland said, they wanted a note on the door that said mask friendly, meaning like nobody's gonna give you a hard time for wearing.
Oh,
a
I
mask.
like that.
You know what I mean?
Good.
I think that was, well, you
Some people
wouldn't
do.
think,
School.
you
is
wouldn't
not
think,
school.
but it's-
Kids are gonna get
bullying
bullied.
is like, I don't know.
Strange days,
Adults
yeah.
would understand that we need
Yeah.
to accept people
Yeah,
as they
I
are.
don't think that's necessary.
But they don't necessarily do that.
No,
My
they don't.
husband gets harassed because he wears one at work and,
Yeah.
I mean, not harassed, it's probably strong,
But
but.
yeah.
Well, take care, everyone. Hopefully, the next time that we meet, we will be full on in spring.
Sounds good. All right, take
Good
care.
night, all.
Take-
Bye.
Bye.
Bye,
Oh,
everybody.
take those papers and not those sticks.
Did Sally call or anything?
She didn't know. I wondered,